21 Morning News. Your all live, all local morning newscast starts now.
Good morning and welcome back to your Fox 21 Morning News on this Friday, September 13th. I'm Kimberly Price.
I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers. Happy Friday to you. Hopefully we'll have a drier weekend as we've seen a lot of rain the last couple of days.
Yeah, and the flooding still continues this morning. In fact, the city of Colorado Springs is going to have a media briefing at 10:30 this morning, kind of updating us on the exact situation out there. But we've seen Fountain Creek still running high this morning.
Absolutely, and Craig Coffey will check in with him in just a minute. But there is a flood warning issued for El Paso County for Fountain Creek. And what the National Weather Service does, the difference between a flash flood warning and a flood warning. Flood warnings typically are for rivers. So there's another flood warning in Pueblo County for the Arkansas River near Avondale, and then the flood warning for Fountain Creek in El Paso County. And that's when it gets to flood stages or when they're expecting it to get to at or above flood stage. We're having more rain that's working into the area right now, and that is not good news for the already inundated soil. So we will continue to follow that all morning long. Let's take a look at our weather and see how things are shaping up right now. On your Fox 21 Sky Cam, we continue to see the cloudy conditions around with, again, seeing most of the clouds and the winds that we've seen around here through the last couple of hours really have picked up in the overnight. Plus the foggy conditions continue. So you really want to take extra time here as well as seeing how things are looking there on TrueView Doppler, where more of these rain showers continue to stream up from the south, tapping into that monsoon plume. What's going to happen later today? We're going to see some spotty showers and thunderstorms, and that is good news because we're going to finally at least turn off that heavy rain. But I do want to show you, here is the burn scar right there at in the middle of your screen. You can kind of see right there, and there is the burn scar. There's that little red area. I don't know if, Brock, can you put me on the wall real quick? Is that possible? Cripple Creek and through Colorado Springs, we are seeing some of these rain showers that continue at this time. So there's the burn scar right there in the center of your screen. It is not having any rain on it now, but look at this rain coming up from the south. More rain for you at Fort Carson right now, and then that is going to continue to move up from the south to the north. So very likely that if we get in the rain, just like we saw yesterday morning, where we could see an area of Highway 24 closed once again. It did reopen early this morning, but if that rain continues to move into the area, we could run into an issue there. So let me check my phone here, see what's popping up. Another warning just popped up. Let's see what it is. Okay, they just extended the flood warning for Pueblo County and as well. That's that river flood warning that I was telling you about. The flash flood watch goes until noon. All the areas here in green, El Paso County, Teller County, parts of Fremont County, all in that flash flood watch area where we're going to see more showers and thunderstorms develop into the afternoon. The already soaked ground expected to get a little bit more rain, and just a little bit will cause some flooding at this point. 10 to 25 mile-an-hour winds up and down the I-25 corridor. That's what we're dealing with here this morning. 50s and 60s temperature-wise. Not really going to change too much with all those clouds around later today. More rain expected, just not as heavy as this afternoon. We finally dry out early next week, and if you want to look at your day planner here to get your plans for the day set. It's going to be one of those probably inside days if you can stay inside. 66 to 73 by noontime. We'll top about 69 to 75 for your afternoon highs. Download our mobile app. It is Fox 21 News. Take us with you anywhere you go in the palm of your hand, your mobile phone, your smartphone, wherever you got there. It is powered by Pueblo Toyota, absolutely free. Let's check in with Brittany right now to see what's happening on the roads this morning. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning. Well, there are no accidents, but there are still a lot of problems out there, a lot of road closures, so you can expect delays. First closure, Cheyenne Road at Crest Road, that is closed due to flooding. Motorway is still closed from Nevada to Tejon. That's been going all morning long, flooding and debris on the road there. Also, Old Stage Road at Myron Road, 20 to 30 foot portion of Old Stage Road has actually been completely washed out, so avoid that area. Highway 24 is currently open. However, the lanes are reduced as they are working on some road repairs. And if we can actually, Maho had been pulling up this picture on the iPad. This is I-25 in Loveland. It is closed both directions, I-25 up there at Highway 34.
Look at that submerged car.
There is a car in the middle of all of this.
And this is I-25. This is not one of the side roads.
I-25. This is farther north, so it's not affecting us, but I-25 is closed up there. So, wow, there's a lot going on the roads and with weather as well. So I'll have another traffic update for you in just a few minutes.
Incredible picture there. 8:06 is your time. We continue our coverage of the floods in southern Colorado as Fountain Creek continues to run high and fast.
Yeah, Craig Coffey live and right now there at the latest 31st and Colorado. That's what we've been looking at all morning long. Craig, how is it looking out there right now?
Good morning, guys. That's right. Live here this morning. Checking out conditions right now as this flood watch continues across the area. Go ahead and take a look behind me right now at Fountain Creek. Again, you can see just how fast this water is moving, how high it is, and how powerful It is too, making its way from west to east right now through the creek. It hits these trees. It's taken anything in its path with it right now. And that's what's so scary. So far this morning, we've had several people come by. They're getting pictures, want to just kind of take a look and see for themselves what's going on. We've also had a former city councilman that came by, and he stressed the point that he said, you know what, people don't realize how serious this is and how important this is and dangerous it is as well. If you get too close to these floodwaters, these flash flood conditions out there, you know, bad things can happen. We've seen shorelines just erode away. We've seen roads that have fallen away. So again, be very, very careful. Stay away, if you can, from these conditions out there. Again, this is Fountain Creek right now on the west side. Also, if you'd like to keep up to speed with what's going on, you can always keep it up with us, watching us on Fox 21 News. Log on to fox21news.com. You can get our Twitter feeds as well, our push alerts, but you can also get information right from the emergency crews themselves here. You can have them sent to your house as a reverse 911, or you can have them sent to your mobile phones too. And that website is elpasoteller911.org. It's elpasoteller911.org for those alerts. That's it for now here on the west side, Colorado and 31st. Near Fountain Creek. Back to you guys in studio.
All right. Thanks so much, Craig. Appreciate it. And we're hearing some road closures and some roads being washed out.
Yes.
And you were talking about, I believe, Cresta Road.
Yeah, Cresta Road near Cheyenne, I think Cheyenne Boulevard.
Yeah.
Kind of, this is all near the Broadmoor.
Right.
And then, of course, Old Stage Road
near
as
Cheyenne
well.
Road. Yeah,
Cheyenne
that's what I was
Road,
saying.
yeah. They kind of cross.
Old Stage Road as well. So we're going to, I believe, send Craig out that way, try to
Yeah.
get some more pictures and see what's going on out there. But obviously, a lot of issues this morning, and all the flooding prompting some closures.
Yeah, we've got a lot of closures and delays for today due to all the flooding.
Including Cheyenne Mountain Junior High School, Skyway Elementary, and Canyon School in Cheyenne Mountain District 12. They're all closed. Big Sandy closed, as well as Manitou Springs District 14. Crowley Elementary School, that remains closed due to that flood damage from Wednesday. Pauline Memorial, 2-hour delay. Calhan RJ1 buses on storm routes. Check those locations. You can go to calhanschool.org.
Now, as for military installations, Fort Carson, Schriever Air Force Base, Peterson Air Force Base, all on a 2-hour delay, only for personnel who live west of 21st Street and Highway 24. So that includes Cascade, Japita Park, Green Mountain Falls, Woodland Park, and Manitou Springs.
Meanwhile, Cheyenne Mountain Air Force Station is closed today. This affects mission essential and non-mission essential personnel.
We've got all these listed on our website, fox21news.com, so just click on the closures and delays for any updates as they are continuing to come in this morning. Well, we do have new information out of Boulder as well this morning, where authorities issued a mandatory evacuation late last night as a creek was rising to dangerous levels there.
Not only in Boulder, obviously we just showed you at the top of the hour near Loveland on I-25 where it's closed right now, but city officials say that notice went out to get to higher ground at about 11 o'clock last night, and they said that they called about 8,000 numbers to evacuate. Not sure how many of those actually responded to that.
The Office of Emergency Management says the alert was prompted by rapidly rising creek levels caused by water backing up at the mouth of the canyon.
Boulder officials confirming the death of one man as well, while a woman remains missing. Witnesses say a woman got out of the car that was stopped in rushing water and was swept away. The man left the car to try and rescue the woman, and he was also carried away by the rushing waters. They say a body has been discovered, the woman still missing. This in addition to the person who died Wednesday night when a house collapsed due to the flooding near Jamestown. And again, as Craig was talking about, don't get out of your car. If you get stuck in a flood, you need to stay in your car. That's what officials say. The car can take the hit a lot better than you can.
In Larimer County, officials say the water level in the Big Thompson River higher than levels recorded when that river devastated the area back in the 1970s. That was a historic event. You know, people still refer back to that and that flooding. People near the Laputa River, the Big Thompson River, and Wrist Canyon were ordered to head to higher ground.
All right, and check out this video in Aurora where the streets were basically rivers there. People were being pulled out of their cars and all sorts of things were happening. President Obama approving federal disaster assistance for the areas affected by the floods, including El Paso County, also Boulder and Larimer counties. The disaster declaration does trigger the release of federal funds to help with the emergency protective measures. Additional support may be made available at a later date. Now, we want to talk about flood coverage here, and we're going to be talking about Governor Hickenlooper. Apparently, he is speaking right now. So we do want to, do we have that now, folks? Can we go to that?
Disaster always starts locally. They are going to be the best informed, but most of our injuries, often in these types of disasters, the fatalities occur with people trying to walk through, get from their car, walk through what looks like maybe a foot or 2 feet of water. It looks harmless. you got to recognize that this water is filled with debris and sand, and it is almost like liquid cement, and it can, even just a foot and a half of water can knock people over, and you can be swept away. It's much different than normal water that you see going down a mountain stream. So we're asking people to be exceptionally careful and to, if at all possible, stay off the roads. Colorado Department of Transportation has issued a essential traffic only restriction, and that's for Jefferson, Larimer, Boulder, and Clear Creek counties. We're having trouble getting the emergency management vehicles around. The congestion's been such, so we're trying to get people at least for a couple hours to stay off the roads so that we can get help to where it most needs to be. I've got a bunch of our cabinets here. I don't know where they all snuck off to, but we're going to go out, to the affected areas in El Paso County and Boulder County, and make sure that we're providing direct support wherever we can. Again, our local first responders have done a remarkable job, and when you look at some of the work that's being done all up along this, it's about 150 miles worth of the Front Range. It should make every Coloradan proud. These folks, these men and women, have been out there. A lot of them working, work close to 24-hour shift, and have, done just a remarkable job. Any questions?
Governor, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are living in areas where they thought it would never flood, and therefore they may not have a flood insurance rider. What do we say to those people at this point, and what resources might be available for them if they have damage to their homes?
Well, we're in the process right now, and we're seeking an expedited process to, is it an expedited? Yeah. To get this as a declaration of a major disaster, a presidential declaration. That will free up some money, although, again, how that works out is, there's a very complex framework, matrix of information we have to collect. That's a big part of the response to a major disaster like this, is making sure that we get all the information together as we submit those requests. Certainly I have not seen final numbers for the accumulation of, you guys probably know this more than I have not seen it this morning, but if you include last night, total rains, it's got to be the largest storm that I can imagine in the state's history.
With so much happening right now, and I know the resources are spread out, this morning, is there a top priority to you? So you're sending more resources? Is there one that's becoming more urgent?
I think we have the evacuations, so making sure.
All right, we've been listening to a live news conference with Governor John Hickenlooper. The city of Colorado Springs is going to hold a news briefing coming up at 10:30 this morning to talk about our local situation as well.
Exactly right. 8:15, much more for you coming up. Our continuing coverage of the floods here in Colorado in just a few minutes.